Oh, this week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we're covering the movie Antz. Oh, this is terrible. Joel.
Yes, Andrew.
I had a revelation watching this movie.
Really? Antz
Yes.
gave you this revelation?
It's because two of the cast members in it.
Okay.
A Woody Allen impression and a Christopher Walken impression are just a few octaves separate of one another.
I could see that.
So if you can do a Woody Allen impression or it's like basically if you can do a solid Christopher Walken, you just up the tone and the pitch a bit.
Yep.
You got Woody Allen. If you can do Woody Allen, you can go a little lower. You're Christopher Walken.
To me, they have like that same kind of like cadence.
Yeah.
You know, like that same kind of pause in between words and sentences. So I see that now, Andrew.
Yeah.
My eyes are open.
And your ears.
And my ears.
Because impressions are a audio medium. I don't know. Anywho, today we're covering Antz. And you know what Antz will really do for you? Make you
What?
really appreciate a bug's life.
I was going to ask you, because there was a whole feud between A Bug's Life and Antz. What side of the feud are you on, Andrew?
What feud? This is more like a one-sided beef, like Australia and the United States when the Olympics comes around.
Australia had that break dance, so I mean, come on.
It's so weird because it's like last Olympics when it was in Australia, they were talking so much shit and they were just like, we got more medals with you. What the fuck is up, America? No other country was like shitting on us. And then everyone and like America, like all the Americans I knew, they were just like, why are they being so like dickheaded-ish? And it's like everyone knows that America does really well in the track and field. That's where like I think it's like 90% of our medals come from. A lot of our gold medals. But anyway, keeps going. Track and field happens. We absolutely fucking decimate. I'm pretty sure it was also one of the Olympics where Russia wasn't allowed in because they were doping again.
Ooh.
And so like Russia is our biggest competitor in the track and field competition.
Yeah.
And so we just fucking smoke show. It was over. And then Australia comes back with, well, per capita, we have more gold medals because our population is less. And I'm like, that's not a thing. But anyway, to my further point, there is no feud with Antz in A Bug's Life because, first of all, the message of these movies is fairly similar.
Yep.
But A Bug's Life does it 1,000 times better. And the ants and other bugs are better to look at. The ants in Antz look like they're made out of wood. It is a hard movie to look at.
I remember seeing both A Bug's Life and Antz, you know, roughly around the same time when they was first coming out. Antz was, I think the problem, they tried to make their faces look too human.
DreamWorks has that problem where they try to make them. They've only successfully done it in Shark Tale, with that fish that looks like Will Smith. Everyone else, no. But I don't know, like, I will say there are things in the Antz movie that I do appreciate that they don't really touch on. Like, we'll get into it when we talk about the movie itself.
Yep.
I don't want to get too far ahead. But Hit us with the history. How did Ants get made? I have a little bit of a theory because there's a movie fun fact that I know.
Okay.
So, I don't know what the official term is, but I call it dual scripting. Basically, what happens is one movie is written, but it's written in such a way that they can sell the screenplay to It's like when Armageddon and that other Meteor movie came out at the same time.
Oh, Deep Impact.
Yeah, that was the same script, but they just workshopped it into two different movies and then it was made by two different studios. I am almost certain that this happened with Antz.
So you might be on something. The history hopefully will shed some light on that.
Perfect, because I didn't do any kind of research on the history. Because sometimes, like the audience, I like to be surprised.
So let me just... Antz was released in theaters on October 2nd, 1998. Okay? We have... The creation of Antz can actually go all the way back to 1988, so 10 years before the theatrical release. That is where this story begins, Andrew. It goes in 1988, Walt Disney Feature Animation. They pitched a film called Army Ants. It was about a pacifist worker ant teaching lessons of independence, of independent thinking to his militaristic colony. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to fast forward a few years later, because at this time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was a chairman of Disney's film division, he leaves Disney because he has a feud with current CEO Michael Eisner over the vacant president position.
Okay.
Katzenberg then goes on to found or co-found DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg and David Geffen.
DreamWorks is basically like the Image Comics of the animated movie world.
Their whole thing was, we want to be like Disney's competition.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Shrek is in a giant fuck Disney movie, but they don't get to that till way later. But
so
some of these early DreamWorks movies are pretty rough.
So production for the Antz movie begins in May 1996. This comes off of the heel of The Prince of Egypt, which maybe we should do that movie, cause
Prince of Egypt is a solid movie.
That's a great movie, in my opinion. Yeah. So this was after, they're working on The Prince of Egypt. They start working on Antz. They contracted Pacific Data Images in California to start working on computer animated films to rival Pixar. This is where things kind of start getting a little wild. So it is said that during the productions of A Bug's Life, Pixar, a public feud erupts between Katzenberg and Steve Jobs. Because Steve Jobs was with Pixar.
That's right. I forget that all the time.
And even John Lasseter of Pixar. So Steve Jobs, John Lasseter, they get in a feud with Katzenberg, all because of A Bug's Life. It is said that after DreamWorks acquired the Pacific Data Image, or PDI, that company was working with Pixar with their computer animation. And it's also been said that, who was it? It was Andrew Stanton, who worked at Disney. Him and Katzenberg apparently were very close. And Katzenberg would actually just drop by Andrew's office to just catch up with him.
Oh, I'm surprised they let him in the building.
During one of these meetings, Katzenberg asked what they were doing next. Andrew Stanton was in there with John Lasseter. Lasseter starts describing in detail A Bug's Life. And it was all because even though Katzenberg had left Disney, was kind of at odds with Disney, they was keeping the peace. So it was still, hey, we're still buddies. We're just hanging out. We're still just talking. And Lasseter actually respected Katzenberg's judgment and, direction on some things. I like to think maybe it was just one of these conversations like, hey, what do you think about this? If we did something like that, just what you do with friends. And just trying to bounce off ideas with him. Lasseter has said he thought he was telling a friend, just, talking to a friend, but then Antz starts kind of rolling out.
Oh my God, this isn't dual scripting. He just stole.
Well, I think the kicker is the fact that in 1988, they pitched an idea which Katzenberg was a part of Disney at that point, so he could have stolen the idea from that. Who knows? There was probably another issue with all of this. Apparently, Lasseter, he has said that before Toy Story released, because, we're still kind of, at this point, Toy Story really hasn't been released, but is about to.
Right.
Lasseter apparently starts calling the close-knit community of computer animators and just starts telling everybody, yo man, Toy Story, it's about to pop off. You guys need to start making your own animated movies because it's going to be like Star Wars. So ride the coattails, in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
Now, when the production of Antz kind of gets announced, Lasseter hears about this and immediately calls up Katzenberg and asks him if this was true. And Katzenberg admits, yeah, this is true. It is said that Lasseter then starts raising his voice and cannot believe that Katzenberg is developing a story that basically like they had pitched, or that he had pitched the idea long ago to.
Yeah. No, it's 100% like he stole the idea.
Katzenberg then says Antz came from a 1991 story pitch by Tim Johnson that was related to Katzenberg. Another source gives Nina Jacobson, one of Katzenberg's executives, as a person responsible for the Antz pitch. It is said that Lasseter, who was not known for using profane language, apparently cursed out Katzenberg and just hung up the phone on him.
I can just picture that where he's just like, no, in 1991, so whatever year it is. So let's say this happened. They're having this conversation in 1992, whenever it gets announced. And he's just like, no, last year, what'd you say her name was? Kate?
Oh, who? Katzenberg?
The executive?
Katzenberg and Lasseter.
No, the executive that Katzenberg said it was her idea.
Oh, Nina Jacobson.
No, no, no. I was talking to Nina last year, and she came up with this great movie about ants. This is just parallel thinking, John. And John's like, bull fucking shit. You thieving piece of shit. If I see you out in these streets, it's on. It's on sight, motherfucker.
Don't let
He's
me
so
see your
mad
face.
he's using terms from the future.
Okay. It gets even crazier.
You're a fucking dead man, Ketzenberger, and he hangs up the...
It gets crazier after this. So, apparently after this phone call, Ketzenberg begins to start thinking that Disney is out to get him. And then Lasseter believes that he is being used as like cannon fodder between this feud between Disney and Ketzetter.
Oh, okay.
So
So basically, Lasseter is just like, they're about to throw me to the wolves because I accidentally let it slip. And Katzenberger is like, an assassin dressed as Goofy is going to shoot me in the back of the head.
yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, shooting the stole.
Now, who's to say if Disney was out to get Katzenberg or not? But Eisner, CEO of Disney at this time, convinces the Disney board to no longer pay Katzenberg his contract required bonus from when he left the company.
That's wild that that's even a thing that he could have.
Exactly. Well, Katzenberg, it doesn't stop there. It keeps piling on to Katzenberg because Disney then announces that their new scheduled A Bug's Life is going to open the same week as The Prince of Egypt, which was going to be DreamWorks' first animated release. So, from there, over there at Pixar, they are trying to keep employee morale high. Lasseter privately told other Pixar executives that he and Andrew Stanton felt let down by Katzenberg.
Yeah.
From here, all right, so this is where things start getting crazy between Disney and DreamWorks in around their like movie releases. So in 1995, Katzenberg announces that The Prince of Egypt is going to debut in November of 98. A year later, Disney schedules, this is when Disney will schedule A Bug's Life to come out that same weekend. Katzenberg loses his mind. He invites Disney executives to DreamWorks to negotiate a release date for A Bug's Life, but they're just like, nah, we're good, man. All right. Then DreamWorks decides to push back A Prince of Egypt to Christmas season, which might be better, you know, Christmas, Jesus, Prince of Egypt, Moses, like biblical thing.
I was about to say this is more of a of a story for Judaism, but yeah, sure, Christmas.
So, and DreamWorks had decided not to begin fully marketing Antz until after the release of Prince of Egypt. But because of, you know, A Bug's Life and everything else, they're going to kind of speed up production on Antz.
Okay.
I did find this interesting, that their original release date, that not Christmas, but the one that they originally set for the Prince of Egypt, it was actually going to be going up against A Bug's Life and the Rugrats movie.
Oh yeah, that thing's toast.
It was probably the smartest thing for them to do to, push that up.
What's really crazy is Antz comes out first, and then A Bug's Life.
Exactly. Because Katzenberg moves the opening up from Antz. It was originally supposed to come out in March 1999, but he's like, nope, it's got to come out October 1998 for it to compete with A Bug's Life.
And what's crazy is people still call A Bug's Life, or like Antz, the ripoff of A Bug's Life, which Antz is, but it's just funnier that Antz was able to come out first. But but that just shows how bad of a movie it is that now later on, even though chronologically Antz came out first, people are still like, oh yeah, that Bug's Life ripoff, that movie fucking sucks.
Now, there was a rumor, this has never been confirmed, but there was a rumor that Katzenberg, PDI, he gave very rich financial incentives to make them speed up the productions of Antz. Like I said, it's rumor, but I feel like from everything I know about Katzenberg and Disney and all of this, it would not surprise me if this MFA was out for blood and was just like, no, I'm going to throw all this money to get Antz to come out.
Bury these motherfuckers.
So from there, apparently, Steve Jobs. It is said that Steve Jobs.
Oh God, I forgot Steve Jobs was still a part of this.
Well, this is. It's so wild, man. Apparently, Steve Jobs called Katzenberg and was furious with him to explain that there was nothing he could do to convince Disney of the date. He was just furious that, like, hey, man, we're not going to war with you. I'm trying my best. Like, we can have the peace in a sense. But Katzenberg, man, he was seeing red at this point. And Katzenberg told Steve Jobs that you taught me how to do business long ago.
Ooh, hit it with the, I learned it from you, Dad.
And then he told Jobs that he had enough power with Disney to convince them to change the specific plans of their film, which was not the case. Yep.
It is crazy how, I mean, they had to stop making biopics about Steve Jobs because once you unravel the curtain of, he's just an old man with a turtleneck and made the iPod.
He was
like,
ruthless.
This dude was a ruthless businessman, almost to the point of alienating his closest friends and family.
And that's really it. Like,
that's nuts. I was not thinking that this was going to be the story of Antz.
I told you the feud between Antz and A Bug Life. So it was
So what kind of verdict are we going to give here, Joel, before we talk about the actual movie? Are we going to say that this was just an instance of parallel thinking, or do we have some real lacklusterness going on here?
I think it was, call it parallel thinking. I think all of this goes back to that original pitch in 1988 called Army Ants. I think it was just one of those things where it's like, these people, Katzenberg probably heard that pitch. It stuck with him. When he went to go start his own company, he was just like, hey, this is a great idea. Let's do this. And just so happened, Disney at the same time and Pixar, they was thinking the exact same thing. But that's it, Andrew. Hit us with the voice cast. There's a good bit of them.
Star-studded cast.
Yeah,
so
it
we
is.
have Woody Allen as Z. Sylvester Stallone as Weaver.
That still blows my mind that he's in here.
Sharon Stone as Bala. Gene Hackman as Mandible. Christopher Walken as Cutter. And Jennifer Lopez as Azteca.
J-Lo? She's in this?
She is in this movie.
J-Lo.
Yeah. So for their other works, you might know Woody Allen as the man who adopted his daughter. Then later...
No,
what is it? No, it was his stepdaughter. He married a woman, and then his stepdaughter grew up, and then he divorced that woman, and then married his stepdaughter. He also did other works in movies and stuff, but that's really what he's known for. That's his legacy.
Now it is.
Weird, perverted legacy.
No one ever talks about his movies and shit like that.
This is the only movie that really comes to mind.
Yeah.
So Sylvester Stallone is Dwight the General Manfredi in The Tulsa King, which season 1 of that show is good. Season 2 is kind of
I give it to you, Andrew, for not going after the easiest ones. Hats off to you on that one.
Well, Tulsa King is actually pretty modern, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen season 2, but it seems like it's a lot of boomer humor now.
It wasn't Tulsa like that King in the first one. That show where he's like the gangster.
Yeah, he's the mafia guy, and they send him to Tulsa.
Okay, all right.
And he's just like, what do I gotta do to get a? And he's been in prison for like 30 years, and so there are jokes like, Starbucks has caramel, and he's like, I just want black coffee.
I feel your pain, man. Stop trying to force me on like caramel. Just give me black coffee. Come on.
Sharon Stone is Catherine Tamel in Basic Instinct. You get to see her pussy in that movie, or it's heavily implied. I've never saw Basic. No,
Instinct, you get to see it, but that's also the scene that's got a Newman in it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I never watched the movie. I don't know. I don't know what that. All I know about that movie is you get to see her pussy. So.
I've never seen the movie. That's the only scene I've seen.
Of course.
What? I was like 16, Andrew.
Gene Hackman was Lex Luthor in Superman.
Hackman.
R.I.P. Oh yeah, he's in that weird episode of South Park. Christopher Walken is King Louie in the live-action remake of The Jungle Book, the only live-action remake that is good.
Yep.
Also, he sings in that, so it's definitely worth a watch.
He's in Fat Boy Slim Weapon of Choice music video, too.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, he is. Also, Jennifer Lopez was a producer in Hustlers. She also acted, and she has a singing career. Also,
what was it? Made in Manhattan.
She's got abs, and she's 50. So, kudos to her.
She's a terrible person, though.
I don't know much about her.
Those videos, like, she's a terrible person.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it.
She's just, she's just a bitch. Like, there was footage of her, like, people wanting like autographs, and she's just
she's like one of those people.
Yeah, a diva. She's just a straight up.
You know who I've rumored to hear is surprisingly like that?
Who?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, I could see that.
Apparently he gets really fucking annoyed.
I don't know what it is, but like Bill Nye the Science Guy, I feel like he likes the smell of his own farts like way too
I could
much.
see that.
If that makes sense.
So let's get into the movie.
Let's.
Get away from Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Please.
First of all, you really appreciate the character design that Pixar puts into ants, like the ants of
You mean
A Bug's
DreamWorks?
Life. No, I mean Pixar, because the character design of the ants in A Bug's Life,
Got it.
they're way more appealing to look at. They're just everything in that movie is just way more polished.
Yes.
And just when you in the beginning of there are a few things that I liked about. So, okay, let's go with the lessons. This is like, if you want to, you can play the theme song of Junkyard Brawl really, really fast. And then we'll do a short Junkyard Brawl. So put it in now. And it's like, so it's like Ants versus Bug's Life. Bug's Life wins. But the message of A Bug's Life is, stand up for yourself and cause a revolution, because there are more of you than there are the powers that be. Don't let anybody steal your resources, kind of deal. And they wonder why a lot of us millennials got radicalized.
Stand up to bullies, in a sense.
Stand up to bullies. The message of Antz is you don't have to be who others decided for you to be at birth. This is Z's dilemma.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes in this is in the beginning, because first of all, he's at a therapist. It was a very Woody Allen style move.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, I feel insignificant. And the therapist is like, oh, that's great. You had a great breakthrough. You are insignificant. Like, you don't matter. And it's all about the colony.
Yeah.
And so eventually Z... Another thing I liked about Antz over A Bug's Life is A Bug's Life was more fantasy, I guess you would say. And it felt like the ants were dealing with, I don't want to say real ant problems, because that sounds stupid, but like one of the first things, so I'm not going to describe this movie to you. It's on Netflix until the 30th, as of this recording, the 30th of September. But anyway, so there's one part where he basically takes Bella, the princess, hostage. And the soldiers are running to go get him. And they all get killed. Like, all the soldiers that are after him get killed by a magnifying glass. And that's not a danger that Flick and the crew run into. They have... There's more of a fantasy aspect, where in Ants, they're like Insectopia, which is where they're rumored to try to go to. First, they think it's a picnic, and then it just ends up being like a garbage can that doesn't get cleaned out. So, just stuff like that really made me... I mean, there are fantasy elements in it. Like, one, they go to a bar. And another one is the ants make a wrecking ball.
I would say
that, but I don't know.
I would say Ants, it's more for like adults.
Nah, Ants is an adult animated. They are like
cursing,
and drinking beer and getting drunk. And Weaver, Sylvester Stallone's character, for some reason, I thought as a child was voiced by John Goodman.
I could see that.
Yeah, because he was just a big guy, and it's like, when it's a disembodied voice and you don't know anything,
you think John Goodman.
Stupid child Andrew at the age of 9 could make no, that's John Goodman.
100%.
But yeah, so basically this moment at the bar, Z has this moment with Bella, Princess Bella, and he's like, I want to see her again. Let's swap places. And here's a fun thing about the termite ant scene where they go to war. It's actually swapped. Ants are the ones that aggressively pick on termites, and they combat them with acid.
True.
And ants are larger than termites.
Yeah, the termites in this thing are like
Yeah,
terrifying.
they're five times their size and spread acid from their head.
Absolutely terrifying.
So another thing that is pretty interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually originally offered the part for Weaver when Schwarzenegger wanted to be paid for the role. It went to Sylvester Stallone, who was willing to do it for free.
So he didn't get paid for that?
He probably
he owed a favor.
I don't know, because this was in the 90s. I know with how the union works today, there is a minimum payment requirement for all actors in a speaking role. And most of the time when they do like a favor, they'll just pay them like, I think it's like $400 if like you have minimum. A speaking role. Yeah, minimum or something like that. So it's like stuff. That's why in Deadpool 2,
okay,
where all those people die and Brad Pitt turns out to be the Invisible Man, that's why he doesn't speak.
Because
so then they could end up not having to pay him.
That's funny.
You know, the minimum amount.
Yeah.
And so they do a few funny references in this. They do the Forrest Gump, I can't feel my legs. But instead of missing his legs, one of the ants from the wars, like his whole body's gone.
Like the thorax.
Oh no, it's just his head. He's like, I can't feel my legs. And he goes, well,
that's not your only problem.
A few things. It was like what was it? They want to commit a genocide. They want to do death by water to all the worker ants, which it's like this one is, that's what I was thinking. It's like they're both messages about the upper class.
Yeah.
Which in A Bug's Life is you can stand up to the upper class because there's more of you. And I felt like there were two lessons in Antz. It's like you need the colony. You need the village needs the kingdom. The kingdom doesn't. No. The kingdom needs the village kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like not like the village doesn't really need the kingdom. So when you try to kill all of them to make your kingdom stronger, you're actually making it weaker because all the people who work hard are the reason you get to have the kingdom. I think I'm saying this correctly.
I'm following you. I'm following you. Yeah.
Yeah, but because like that's the whole thing about Z is when they learned that he just did this because he wanted some antussy. And
he did, though. He really did.
He did. He was down bad, which is weird because the worker ant is considered a drone, and drones don't have the equipment to be one. Or do they? I don't know how ants work.
I don't either, but this is a work of fiction, so we don't have to dive too much into it.
Yeah, we don't have to dive. Yeah, we don't have to dive too hard. Yeah, speaking of which, General Mandible is engaged to the princess. It's just like, I don't think that's how that works either. I don't know if they have the concept of a
marriage,
marital institution.
Yeah, I feel like it's more kind of, instinct and probably
pheromones and such.
A bunch of inbreeding because if the queen is laying all the eggs, I mean,
I don't know if that's how it even works because
I don't.
Again,
think so.
We don't know how ants work, and we're not going to sit here and try to guess. Now
maybe we'll get an ant scientist in here to explain the logistics of ants.
The scene where the guy is walking with his shoes untied, I actually remember that from the Antz video game that they had. That is a big part of the Antz video game.
Yep.
Is like platforming off of those moving shoes. And you know what? while it's not the best animated scene because it's a bunch of legs that go straight into the sky and there's no torso or shadow or hands or anything.
Just legs and feet.
Still a pretty good scene. Also, really funny that to me, the product placement is only in the picnic scene. Because you have Pepsi, you have Reebok.
Yep.
And there's one other, I think it's Mountain Dew. I think it's Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and Reebok.
Okay.
Are the three that like you see, they are on display. And it's I don't know. I kind of miss that blatant product placement in movies where it's like it's so egregiously obvious.
Yeah.
Because nowadays it's mainly like you only think about it unless somebody points it out, like how like the first few phases of the Marvel movies, like everybody was like driving an Acura.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, why are they all driving Oh,
it's they've gotten better at it. It's more like Inception.
Yeah,
that they're just trying to.
Oh no, it's like a subliminal. It's like it's just like the deal with iPhone. No villain can ever have an iPhone, which sucks for Droid, I guess.
But they can have Jaguars.
They can have Jaguars.
That was probably my favorite commercial.
Here's another fun little fact about the movie. Christopher Walken's character was punched up from the original script because of how well he did at voicing a intimidating second in command.
I could see that.
Yes, because originally he'd like have a few lines, and I guess you would be like, "Is that Christopher Walken?" But he did such a good job. He barely sounds like Christopher Walken in this movie. If you like, I had to really pay attention because I'm like, that's great because he sounds more. I guess we're so used to the goofy Christopher Walken that we hear today.
Yeah,
where he's like, "I'll stab you in the face with a." That's not a good Christopher Walken, but you get my point. Whoa!
Talking about
cowbell and such.
Oh, wrong.
I'm old, but somehow I can dance.
He is a good dancer.
He is a good dancer.
It is funny how Antz and A Bug's Life, they seem so similar, but at the same time, they are pretty different.
They are very different movies.
Yep.
And when it comes to the terms of parallel thinking, I always like to point out to people that there are two different Dennis the Menaces.
Yep.
And the people who wrote them, one was in the UK, one was in here. They never met. They never saw each other. It was before the internet. And we did not know there were two Dennis the Menaces. Like, there was no connection. Nobody ever talked about it till like 2000. Like, when we got the internet and people were posting Dennis the Menace. And they're like, that's not Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace is a weird kid in a sweater with a dog. And it's,
yeah,
I don't know. Shit like that makes me. But then, based on the story that you just unraveled to me, I cannot in good conscience say that this was parallel thinking. He stole that idea. He might have not had, like, he definitely... The concept, the foundation that A Bug's Life and Antz are built upon are the same thing.
Yeah.
They might tell a different story, but it's definitely the same thing.
No, I completely agree. I think his time at Disney, knowing that there was that pitch back in 1988, it was stolen. Like, they both went down the same rabbit hole, just executed it in different ways.
It's like when Steve Jobs tried to, speaking of another little thing, it's like when Steve Jobs tried to sue Microsoft because they were like, you stole from our operating system. And Bill Gates was like, no, we stole from the same operating system. I am just better at marketing than you.
Yep.
And then after that, he had to drop the case because he's like, damn, they both just admitting to stealing from. I don't know what happened to the other guy to where these two were based on.
He got screwed. The other guy just got screwed.
He died penniless and alone, like the creator of Batman. Anywho, Joel, it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that get swatted at the picnic and reviews that make it to Insectopia.
Andrew coming out swinging.
Boom, 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 baby.
So this is sitting at a 6.5 out of 10 with 169,000 ratings, Andrew.
I feel like this became a weird cult classic.
Yeah, I think it did too. And, you know, I'm sure there are people who will pick this over A Bug's Life. I don't know why you would, but I'm sure there are people out there that do. The 1 out of 10 review I got for you, Andrew, it's pretty great. It's titled, Woody Allen is a Pedophile. You can tell what this review is about. Woody Allen is a pedophile. Do not support anything he is in. This is not a bad movie, but one of the main characters like to rape children. Do not pay.
We got. Let's throw a big old allegedly.
Do not pay money for this movie if you feel the need to watch it. That's it.
Well, you don't have to up until the 30th, unless I don't know how Netflix works. Actually,
I don't. This is a 10 out of 10, titled "Fabulous Performance by an All-Star Cast with Fabulous Animation." Antz is a charming romantic comedy that is better appreciated by adults than children. In fact, there are some scenes that might be a bit too violent and gruesome for small children. All of the actors perform brilliantly with an excellent script, even though the plot is a bit trite. All the actors excel in their roles, even the usual bland Stallone and Lopez, who are more animated in this film than in most of their other roles. I found the movie to be...
Stallone does do a good job in this movie.
Yeah. I found the movie to be appealing visually, apart from some of the backgrounds that seem to be hand-painted. The animation is superb. That's it.
That's a hard disagree.
Yeah,
There are scenes that are well animated. The war in the picnic.
Yeah.
That's about it for me.
I also think, like, it hasn't really aged too well.
No, so like A Bug's Life, I could still watch and it holds up. I think that's one of the thing about stylized, the way that they stylize this movie. It's like
it's cartoony.
It's cartoony, and then the other, it's like Antz is just so much more jagged. Like it's like it almost looks like you're watching a GameCube cutscene.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like with Antz, you feel like you're watching a movie. And I don't know, it just feels like you're watching a movie style production, especially with the budget of Antz being between 42 to 105 million. Woo. Making its box office of 171.8 million.
So I wouldn't, because what, a movie has to make, like, was it 1.5 times its budget or something like that?
Yeah, to break even or to turn a profit or something like that. With, in return, A Bug's Life was between 40 and 120 million, and its box office was $363.3 million. So it's very clear who wins that junkyard brawl.
I like to think that if Antz maybe would have focused on like making it a little bit more for children, maybe.
Yeah,
they
you're
would have done
absolutely
better.
right. Because this is the 90s.
Yeah.
We're not in that part of the era where people have put a respect onto animation to where they would want to watch
Adult animation is not a big
adult
thing.
no, it's the animated for adult stuff where it's not porn. It's not there yet.
Very true.
But Joel, I believe that wraps up Antz.
It does.
If you would like to be one of our soldiers in a colony, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier, stickers and pins sent right to your door, access to our Discord for the mega request.
Become a dumpy today.
If you want. And you get bonus episodes and extended audio episodes. We have a Twitter and a Blue Sky, both Cartoon DD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive everywhere else. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please consider subscribing, and maybe throwing us a comment. I still don't know how that all works yet, but we'll
figure it out.
And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, so we can make our own CGI movie that costs $105 million.
Please.
I was going to make a joke about adopting our stepdaughter and then marrying her, but then I was like, I don't ever want to compare myself to Woody Allen. We can bring Woody Allen to justice if he's still alive, because I think he might be dead.
I think he's still alive.
Anyway, have a great rest of your week.
We'll see you.
This has been a Lug Hole Podcast.